this is going to be really hard for me to stand back here the entire time, but I will do it at Dan's request so I don't get in trouble. Thank you for having me, and Vic, you may have to help me log back in. Very appreciative for the opportunity to talk about the foundation. I am so excited to be a part of the foundation, and excited to be a member of the Muskogee community. I think most of you know I'm still fairly new here. Been here about 3 years and loving it. Joined the foundation almost a year ago, thank you, sir, and has given me a great opportunity. Can I walk? Well, I have to be able to push these buttons anyway in a minute. So it's given me, as a staff person at the foundation, the only local staff person, to really get more involved in the Muskogee community, and I'm loving every bit of it. One of those opportunities, we had a great event here in Muskogee yesterday, the Chamber's Women's Conference. Was anybody at that conference yesterday? And Anita, I think I saw Anita there yesterday. Were you there? No? Somebody that looked a lot like me. Janie was there. Janie may have to find me for my work there yesterday. In getting involved, I was on that planning committee, and I had one job to do with that committee, and that was to schedule the keynote speaker for lunch. And I got her scheduled. We had Major General Rita Aragon scheduled. She is the Secretary of Veteran and Military Affairs for the state of Oklahoma. And we were so excited. She was very excited to come here, really to come to Muskogee for a lot of reasons, but to come and speak on women's issues. She's very passionate about women's issues, and also excited to come to Muskogee. Considers us a big veterans town, and was going to visit the Veterans Hospital while she was here. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, yesterday morning, which was the day of the conference, my phone, I started getting dings on my phone, and it was the Major General texting me from Istanbul, Turkey, telling me she wasn't going to make it to Muskogee by noon on Wednesday because she was still overseas. And I thought, oh great, well, what are we going to do now? And so again, that was my one job, was to get her here, and that clearly wasn't going to happen. And so we spent from 2 o'clock till about 7 o'clock in the morning trying to find our next speaker, which ended up being the great Sue Harris, which most of you know, and she did an excellent job. The funny thing about that kept happening to me that day is later in the day I was reading my emails, and we had a conversation going with some leadership group that I was involved in Oklahoma City. That we were trying to plan a party. We get together about once a year, and I had emailed a friend of mine that's in that group, and I said, hey Mary, are you going to be at this party? I'd really like to see you. And she said, I am. Right now I'm stuck in Istanbul, Turkey. And I thought, is this a joke? People are just really being mean. And I said, really? I said, you're the second person today that has told me that they're stuck in Istanbul, Turkey. I said, I've been trying to, I was supposed to have Major General Aragon here. She said, oh no, she's with me, we're together. And I thought, all right, well, so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not sure, I feel like I love what I'm doing, and I love being involved in the community, and getting involved in some things like the Women's Conference and the great things that the Chamber's doing and that Rotary's doing, and trying to get out there and get involved in your activities, and it's been a real pleasure. But I want to tell you a little bit about what the foundation is doing, and we are doing some amazing things. And what I want to do real quickly is recognize some of you folks that are involved with the foundation. Our president-elect, which he will take charge here in just a couple of months, Mr. Ernie Gilder, will become our president for next year, or our chairman for next year, officially in August. We have several other folks on the board. I won't even try to, I don't want to miss anybody, but Janie Boydston's on our board. Who else is a board member? Any other board members here? Former board members? And I know we have several committee members also that are here. Al Stevens is on our Economic Development Committee. Anybody else that's served on a foundation committee or on the board? Sud? lots of support out there. And you're going to hear a little bit about our committees and our board in a minute also. I'm going to show you our 2012 grants video. We do it's kind of our annual report, not a written annual report and not an official annual report, which you might be used to from a lot of nonprofits, but this is the way we highlight some of our grants each year, and this is from our 2012 grants. It's just a few minutes long, but I want to show it to you because it does a good job of highlighting some of the grants that we do. I'm going to show that to you, and then I will come back and talk a little bit more, hopefully. I'll get this.
In the lead. Yeah. The City of Muskogee Foundation has improved education opportunities throughout the city. Funding has increased programming and student involvement at all of the Muskogee public schools, Hilldale schools, and even the private institutions. The foundation has also helped give us strength in the area of nonprofit organizations that have added to the strength of those that have been unique. Support from the City of Muskogee Foundation has provided much needed funds to improve and revitalize our community's structures and perception. Funding supporting economic development has given us the strength to recruit jobs and businesses, ultimately creating more opportunities for our citizens. The City of Muskogee Foundation has also made a difference in the health of our citizens. With a goal of improving the health of Muskogee, the foundation has brought about awareness and educates the public on the needs to become a healthy community. I think you will agree with me that the City of Muskogee Foundation has made an impact on the quality of life. The improvements in education, health and wellness, and economic development have a positive impact on everyone, including our visitors. In this video, you will hear from the grantees, some of the grantees, about the great work that has been done with the support of the City of Muskogee Foundation.
Community Circles of Muskogee is the city's anti-poverty initiative. We're really charged with the responsibility of doing anything and everything we can to link up all the different aspects of the city to address poverty in a permanent and lasting way. Our particular grant came about as a result of the strategic planning session that the City of Muskogee Foundation had. The foundation agreed that Bridges Out of Poverty was something that literally was going to touch each and every aspect of Muskogee, and we really weren't going to be able to address all the different things that we knew needed to be addressed. Every time we graduate a class from getting ahead, and those classes are made up of individuals from poverty, and they begin to share with us just what has happened over that 5-month period. It's just an amazing thing to listen to.
Well, my life was pretty much so complicated, I couldn't handle it. I was just surviving. I found out about circles through a church. The first class, we were known as the guinea pigs anyway. It was wonderful. Different people from all walks of life, all kinds of people, all burdened with poverty and not knowing how to get out of it. It gave me an aha moment, and I discovered why for a lifetime I've had problems. I was able to work through an ally and a friend to find an attorney who said he would take one of my cases pro bono. He was a federal attorney. I am learning an awful lot. If there's something I don't know, Circles will find me someone that will teach me what I need to know. They don't come in and take care of your problems for you. They teach you how to handle your problems. They teach you how to identify your problems. They teach you how to not be a victim, which I had been for quite a long time.
So it was really interesting to meet Shelby for the first time, because just like when you meet anyone for the first time, you don't know exactly what you have in common with them. But Shelby and I have become very good friends, and we talk regularly. Many times I feel like I'm a sounding board and an active listener, to listen to what Shelby said, what the difficulties are, what the current situation is that she's dealing with, and try to pick out the key ingredients. it's always good to have somebody who understands where you've been, where you are, and where you're trying to go. And that's a major part of being someone's ally, is to know their history, participate in their present, and then of course to be able to rejoice in what's going to be part of their future.
I don't get many opportunities to speak to the entire foundation, and to take the opportunity now to do that is just incredible. I can't thank the foundation enough for having the faith in this initiative and to try and see it through, for providing us the opportunity to put something like this into play in Muskogee, Oklahoma. We know that it's making a difference, and we know that it touches so many of the other things that this community wants so desperately to improve on. So, thanks again.
We're the City Muskogee Planning Department, and we saw a need for houses that were becoming just borderline derelict, that needed just a small need of repair to keep them from going into complete disrepair and possibly later on being abandoned and later on having to come to need to be demolition. We had seen where there are several that we are needing to tear down that had increase in demolition. And to complement the neighborhoods and to have an increase in cleaning up the neighborhoods, we implemented the program where we're doing a rehabilitation of those. Unfortunately, the city budget, the funding was cut, and we applied to the City of Muskogee Foundation. And for the past 3 years, we have been funded with the City of Muskogee Foundation for the external repairs. This program has made a significant impact on the community in the fact that while the program is being offered just for the original townsite homes, the investment into the whole community is brought about by the fact that the contractors are local contractors, the supplies are purchased locally, the workers are local workers, and we also feel like other homes in the area are then repaired, and there's an increase in the pride in the community. We're extremely grateful to the foundation to have the opportunity to have the funds, because when the city had the budget cuts, we were not able to continue the program. And we have calls, numerous calls every day looking for funding for repairs. The City of Muskogee Planning Department would like to thank the foundation for providing the funds to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Muskogee for this rehab program.
Really, what Connor State is founded on is three basic principles. So we do university transfer, we do agriculture, and we do healthcare. And the City of Muskogee Foundation and their generous support has allowed us to take our healthcare education to a whole new level. And what it did is it allowed us to fund a gap scholarship. That means anybody who lives in Muskogee County can go to school to become a nurse or an occupational therapy assistant. And it really doesn't matter sort of where your emphasis is. If you care about healthcare and you want to be a part of that industry, this makes it possible for people to go to school, people to get a job, and people to live and work in Muskogee. And all they have to do is agree to live in Muskogee for 2 years after they've completed their education. What's really brilliant about this program is that it allows our community, and it allows Muskogee as a regional center for healthcare to really grow their own and to keep people in the community, keep them engaged with good jobs. Because we know that if they work here for a couple of years, they're more than likely going to buy a house here, they're going to buy grocery here, they're going to do all sorts of good things for the community. And so to have the college at the center, that's really what we should be doing. And so we would not be able to do that without the generous support of the City of Muskogee Foundation.
I chose this program because I just heard great things about it. They have really high passing rate, which is hard to find in a school. Receiving the scholarship has helped me to not have to work full-time, and I can now work part-time to focus on my studies. Because of the scholarship, I'm able to stay in the Muskogee area, and I have a job lined up, and this is where I want to raise a family, so I can stay here.
I would just like to say thank you to the City of Muskogee Foundation, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to meet people where they are and get them to where they want to go. I mean, as a college, we're in the business of helping people fulfill the promise of their potential. Without you, we couldn't do that.
Muskogee War Memorial is an organization that's developed to give us the opportunity to teach our population a little bit about the military. Give them a chance to learn about that, maybe experience some of the things that our military folks have to go through or have had to go through, and also to give us a chance to remember those folks that have given their time and sometimes, many times, even their lives. We encompass an 8-acre park with monuments to various individuals and items, as well as a big attraction, which is the USS Batfish, a Vallejo class World War II submarine. She in her own right has had her own accolades during the war. She made 7 war patrols, killing a total of 14 vessels, which included 3 Japanese submarines that were sank over a 76-hour period. That is a naval record that holds to this day. We've had a lot of needs in the past, and particularly what was coming up was some safety issues for us, some visual issues. We were able to repave the parking lot out here, get it cleaned up, looking nice, and then the 2 big ones, the gangway, that is the ramp that brings us onto the submarine, had dilapidated over the years. The wood that was structures that were holding it up had literally rotted out. There was a large sinkhole that had created in behind them. This corrected that problem. Everything has been replaced with steel girders and concrete block, and the sinkhole has been backfilled. The last piece of that was to replace the mooring lines, which again were past their maintenance schedule. One line was not even attached. The wood posts that were where they were anchored to were rotted out pretty severely. We were able to go out and purchase steel cleats and secure them to a concrete anchor into the ground and replace the mooring lines, which actually were starting to rust out, and provide us that security. We do live on a floodplain, so that is a pretty major thing for us. In case we flood again, we don't want the boat trying to flow down the river on us. This grant's allowed us to correct access issues to the museum and the boat as a whole. I personally, as a park manager, would like to thank the Muskogee Foundation, as would our Board of Trustees. We want to thank them for making these grants available to us. I've seen the work that they have done at other museums, and I personally know that the work that they have done here that's helped us out is a great benefit to us, what the City of Muskogee Foundation is doing for our park and the other facilities in the City of Muskogee.
By awarding over $2.8 million in grants and $250,000 in scholarships, you will see that the City of Muskogee Foundation is truly making a difference in Muskogee.
All right, that is our video. Thank you for all my technical support, by the way. I apologize. I thought I was prepared, and I was not. So, Janie, that's 2 fines I get, and 2 things I'm clearly not good at: scheduling dignitaries to be here from Turkey and technical stuff. So I'll take that. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so just a little bit more about the foundation. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Just a little bit of history, and I want to talk a little bit more about our project. So in case you don't know how we arrived here, the foundation was established in 2008 when Capella Healthcare leased the Muskogee Regional Medical Center. It was a long-term lease, 40-year lease, and established the foundation. The proceeds were invested and created the City of Muskogee Foundation, created a nonprofit organization. We are actually a nonprofit organization that's governed by a board of directors. We are affiliated with the city and really technically owned by the city because the city owned the hospital at the time, so it's city funds that were used. So we do have some oversight from the City Council, and through our bylaws there's some connection there. It's a little bit complicated, but we do work with the City Council and of course with the mayor and the city manager. They serve on our board of directors as well. That from that original lease came, that started the foundation, was about $92 million. Right now it sits at a little over $128 million. So from the original investment, it has grown over the past, what is that now, about 5 years to $128 million. That's where it sits. So really, really good investing. We have an investment committee, and Sud actually sits on that investment committee that's made up of, I think Ernie's been on that committee as well, that meets regularly, looks at our investments, reports to our board of directors on how those are doing, and then they are the ones that recommend to our board of directors annually how much we should grant out from that $128 million. In 2013, we granted out $4.25 million of that $128 million, so clearly not all of it. We want some of it to sit there for a while, so it'll do some good. We did that with 50 grants, and then, as the video said, we also do scholarships. We do, if you're not aware, we do 10 scholarships per year to Muskogee and Hilldale Public School students. And they're $24,000 scholarships each. So they're big, good, hearty scholarships, really good scholarships. Our grants are primarily in 4 focus areas, and if you were really listening to the video and hearing some of those projects, you might have heard how some of those fit in or even overlap into multiple areas, but economic development, education, health and wellness, and quality of life are our 4 primary areas. And there's really not very many things that won't fit into one of those. It would be hard to find something that wouldn't fit into one of those areas. And I would like to say too that we try to keep those 4 kind of running parallel most of the time. It's important that we don't sink too much money into one and get too far ahead and let the other 3 stay stagnant. They all really have to run simultaneously to make the city successful. And that's the way our board really feels like the foundation and the city will be most successful. So as we're looking at priorities, that's the way that we have invested our money in the community. You know, we're still young, only about 5 years old, so we're always looking at ways to be better. Right now we're revising bylaws. We're trying to engage new community members all the time on committees, on the board, engaging the city council better. We know we need to do better at that at every level, making sure that they're aware of everything we're doing, engaging the media better. We all know we can do that better, right? We're going to have a new publisher of the paper, I guess, so we're going to work hard to make sure that the media knows what we're doing, not just at the paper, but social media, all those kinds of things, to make sure that the word about what the foundation's doing for Muskogee is out there. Being a community collaborator and partner, like I said, I'm trying to get out there and do more things. Rotary, Chamber of Commerce with the AIM initiative. I know Dr. Fulton was here a few weeks ago and talked about that. I'm involved in a lot of those activities. Just a little bit about a few of our projects, and some of these are repetitive of what you saw in the video, but maybe enhance some of that. But Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, and some of you may know it as the Nonprofit Resource Center. They are a local organization that does a multitude of things. I can't even get into everything they do, but one of the things that they do for us, they're truly one of our community partners. They have, they're a training center for other nonprofits. They write grants for other organizations and for the city. They are a community builder. You'll see them out at neighborhood parks trying to get neighborhoods out and about and together to work together, neighbors building neighborhoods. One of the things that they do is write grants and do grant training for other organizations, including grantees of ours for the city and for anyone that needs the assistance for a very, very low fee or no fee at all. These numbers here represent the $71,245 is what the City of Muskogee Foundation gave them in 2012. The $1.5 million is what they brought back to Muskogee in grants from organizations, funding sources outside of Muskogee. So they used that $71,000 we gave them to pay for a grant writer and other program and training, to bring $1.5 million from other funding sources like Inasmuch Foundation, federal sources, Kerr Foundation, dollars back into this community for other nonprofit organizations and for the city. So that's how they've leveraged that money. I think that's pretty impressive. They also are the fiscal agent. They serve as a fiscal agent for a lot of programs, including the Martin Luther King Center, which is an after-school program, swim and night hoops program. This year we allocated $142,000 for that program. A couple of pictures from that. If you've never gone and seen some of these programs, this is pictures from the night hoops program. Kids having a lot of fun. Community circles you heard about on the video. This program, I don't know how many of you, do any of you serve on any of those committees or volunteer for that program? Are you an ally, or have you been to the Bridges Out of Poverty training? Anybody? Ernie? Yeah, I know. You know a little bit about that program over there and the Nonprofit Resource Center. Community circles is a game changer, folks. This is, it's much more than anti-poverty. If you think about changing the mindset, which most of us probably, I would venture to say, don't have a lot of knowledge about being generationally poor. Maybe you do. I don't want to make too many assumptions. I certainly do not. But when you start talking about changing the mindset of someone that has been in generational poverty and that has no knowledge of what it means to having a savings account, or no knowledge of ever going to the dentist, or no concept of what it means to, you mean I have to have a job before I quit my other job? Some of those kinds of things. And you start changing the way they think. And you give them a mentor. And then they realize, wow, my life can be different. My life can be better. And that means they start teaching their children to live differently. And we change that pattern. And we change that self-esteem, we change the work habits, we change the way they live, we change the way they look, we change the way the neighborhood looks. Everything changes. And so that's the reason the foundation has really invested in this program. And we have chosen to make a 5-year commitment. We're in the 3rd year of that commitment right now. And the reason we've just completed the 2nd year, the 3rd year we've given $160,000 to it. And let me just show you why we took the risk on this one. Outcomes. 80% of the participants after the 2nd year that graduated from this program, they go through a 20-week program. Imagine this, they commit, excuse me, they go to a class every week for 20 weeks. How many of us commit to something like that? They go 3 hours a night for 20 weeks. They decrease their amount of debt they owed. How many of us have decreased the amount of debt we've owed lately? Not me. So these folks have lived in debt. 60 of them experienced an increase in income. That means they either went and got a better job after completing this course, or they got a raise at work, so they got promoted. Something happened that increased their income. 30% went and got a better education, either got their GED or started getting steps to get a better education, enrolled in that community college course, or went to ICTC, did something. They knew they needed to start getting better. 50% opened a savings account. I can't even get my 24-year-old to open a savings account. She just can't understand how she can save money right now. She's got a full-time job. I don't have enough money to save money. These folks can do it. They learned how to do it. So there's the $240,000 in scholarships I was talking about to 10 students. We awarded those. These kids are amazing. They're going to be ruling us one of these days. Coins for critters, this is one of my favorites. I'm an animal lover. I don't know if you guys do. We don't just do humans, we do the coins for critters and the animals too, but we did a spay and neutering clinic. This is another way a lot of the generational poverty folks think different about how they handle their animals. Please take me out. They also adopt out animals. Ooh, how'd they get in there? That's all right. Has anybody noticed a difference in your parks lately? Yes. They're amazing, aren't they? They're doing a great job. And I won't take complete credit for it, but we're going to take a lot of credit because we've been given a $500,000 grant to the Parks and Recreation Department. We're in the 3rd year of that. And we feel like that may have leveraged a little bit of some of the other donations that have been coming in. If you like that butterfly park, wow, that is crazy great. I would say that Honor Heights Park rivals the parks in Tulsa right now. It is amazing to see what those parks are doing. If you haven't seen Beckman Park yet, you need to go out there. Is Ivory Van here? Man, where is he when you want to talk about the parks? I was going to say something good about Ruby Park, and he's not even here. He's here. Parks are great. Another one of our big grants, the housing and rehab program that you heard on the video, we increased that from $200,000 to $300,000 this year. If you look at that and you were driving down the street, it went from with $17,000 from that to that, and from that before to that. And I think one of the most exciting projects we're doing, our very first really big brick and mortar project, and I know a lot of you have probably read about this one, but we're going to do a new Muskogee Little Theater. This is really exciting. Yay! Our biggest grant yet, and I'm just saying we're doing it because it is a challenge grant, but we're doing it because it's going to happen. I know it is, because we're all going to help them get there, but they have to raise $1 million. They've already got a $250,000 commitment from one donor. He called us himself and said, we're doing it. I'm doing the gift. Give them the grant. We said, okay, good deal. So they only have $750,000 to go that we know of. So we need to all help them get there when they start this capital campaign. But we gave them $5.5 million to build an amazing facility, and we have some pictures. This is what the renderings look like right now. They're going to have a black box. There's going to be an area out in the front where it can be rented for events, weddings, parties. This is that front area. They're going to serve drinks. It's going to be amazing. There's the theater. I mean, it's going to be crazy good. And this is going to be at the south end of Muskogee. It's going to be our hub, our theater district, and it's going to tie to the north end of Muskogee when AIM gets done with our shopping district and our antiques district and our restaurant and retail district, and we're going to have the most amazing town ever. So I encourage you guys to get out there and be involved in some way or another with one of these projects. And we're just really proud of everything that's been going on and all the projects that we've been able to work with. We've got some really good organizations out there doing good work. So.